Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 4 to the Mcqueen Walking Dead story. I'm your host, Nick, and before we begin, just want to tell you guys all to make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick, and comment your favorite what if or future requests for what ifs in the comments section down below to possibly see your own ideas appear on the channel and just generally support the channel and share your ideas and opinions on what you want to see and how you've seen everything up until this point. With all that out of the way, let's begin the next part to this series. We open at the CDC. The group has just arrived there. And just when they arrive, Rick is trying to get someone to notice him, and the place is starting to become a little bit overrun, but with Mcqueen and a bunch of other people there, it's not that as much urgent as it was, but it's still kind of, scary. And just before people are about to start getting on Rick's case, before they even pull him away, Lightning McQueen sees the door open and Jenner greet them once they get inside. And this was down to seeing something very strange within the group. And now that he's looking at said group, it's not the people in the group that he sees that surprised him enough to let them in. Oh no. He is staring straight at Lightning McQueen, the source of what instantly caught his attention and why he let them in. To be completely freaking for real with you, he was thinking about just ignoring it and just shooing them away somehow, some way, but he wants to know instantly who and what is that? Because he's scared, perplexed, and amazed at what he's looking at, as it has everyone so far who's seen him. But Rick tells Jenner the whole story about what has happened since he met Lightning and they've been on their journey, and his resolve to help McQueen as well as him help them. And Jenner, he is amazed at this story, but even to someone like Jenner, it really sounds far-fetched, even if he's staring right at it. But to be honest, if there's anyone who would think logically of this scenario, it would be Jenner, even if it does seem impossible. And he agrees to let them in, but it's gonna be, if they stay in here, they can't get out. Like, the doors will shut. They will not open again. And looking at Lightning, he thinks that he actually wants to work on him since people are asking him to, like Rick and a few other people. And it actually does take Jenner's notice. And he's even reconsidering his whole plan to die, but it's really 50-50. But overall, he hides this from everybody and says he'll let them in and look at Lightning when the time comes. Everybody's let into the CDC properly. Andrea is in much better spirits because Amy is alive, so nothing to do with Andrea's mood there. And Jim is still around, which I've only ever had Jim at the CDC in my original outing of What If Jim Survived. So, change up. As for Jenner, he, like I said, it's a few of the people that takes his attention, but after some time and talking with other members of the group, Lightning is the main center focus of his attention that draws him away from his plan to die and changes his mood entirely. He is staring at a lifelike car. And after some time, Rick and several others talk to Jenner about fixing Lightning and making him like a lifelike car, putting car doors on him, making him much more of a car than he was, which they explain more about his backstory. And it's for the best because Rick wants to help McQueen get home and help him through his world as much as he wants McQueen to help him through theirs. It's a eye for an eye, and he tells Jenner that also. And Jenner, he keeps thinking about dying and everything, but he can't help but focus on this amazing car. So he agrees, and he is willing to go ahead with the procedure. And Lightning, he sees the doubt and sort of held back nature in Jenner. Of course, he has no idea about Jenner wanting to die, but he sees this as a too scared to operate on a sentient car and not wanting to get into his design. But Mcqueen, he's trusted Rick and every human that he has never met before in his world. So he looks straight at Jenner with the utmost seriousness and says he is ready for making himself better than he ever was. And Jenner, he's still perplexed at staring at all of this, a car talking to him and wanting to operate on something or someone that could possibly end up killing him or something, but he says he's going to do it. Meanwhile, we get the whole Shane going into Lori's room and trying to rape her thing with Lori scratching his neck. So, that happens, but there's really nothing to make that not happen. Anyway, moving on. With the whole procedure, we got a lot of people. Rick, Shane, Jenner, T-Dog, Daryl, Jim, Merle, Dale, and Glenn all together, not just Jenner, work on Mcqueen together. And soon enough, with a good bit of time, they manage to make car doors. And actually, whenever they open it up, all they see is bolts and wires and cables, and it's very kind of wrong in a way to be messing with Mcqueen like this, because it could kill him. But honestly, the cars in the Cars universe had been wrecked and damaged before, with many of their designs being damaged. So this would hurt a lot, but Jenner says that even with this, he's going to try to sedate Mcqueen in a kind of way to make sure that he instantly doesn't die. But he does say if they want car doors and car seats and to make him like a lifelike car, that's the best that he thinks he wants to and can do without killing Mcqueen. So he's going to try his absolute best to make Mcqueen the car that all of them want to be and Mcqueen wants to be. So, with Jenner mainly at the helm, he and everyone else manages, through the bolts, wires, cables, and everything, and managing the car door completion to wire them on successfully, manage to also put car seats onto Mcqueen's design. That of which being color coordinated, yellow and red, mainly red in kind of the outline and yellow as the base, because we can't take away from Mcqueen's design. After some time and a lot of working and a lot of messing around with the design, Jenner says that it worked being able to sedate Mcqueen enough so he wouldn't feel any of the pain, because he didn't want to put a sentient car especially through that, because it's a very weird process in general. It would just make it harder. And he tells Mcqueen he's able to wake up now. And Mcqueen, he opens his eyes, still alive. And Rick asks Mcqueen, how does he feel? And out of nowhere, Mcqueen flips open up top his car doors, because with Mcqueen's design and the way that it worked with the wiring and everything, Mcqueen got scissor doors. And I know that's very futuristic, but think about it. It's the Cars universe. You gotta give him that, pretty much. And Lightning says he's actually never felt better. And honestly, he tells everyone that he thought he was gonna die, because never before, besides getting gas and fixing his tires, has his design ever been that much tweaked with. But ever since he got out of that grass back in Atlanta, he had trusted Rick and every human he had come across, and he kept that trust into believing not only Jenner, but everyone could do their jobs. And look at him now. He has car doors, scissor doors, and he feels better than ever. And while he's gloating and showing off the Mcqueen way, and everyone's having a good time seeing this discovery, a gigantic sound appears above them, and a 30 marks on the timer above them also, hinting at Jenner that, yeah, his suicide attempt was still there. He never got rid of that because he couldn't. Yeah. Now he looks at everyone with the shocking realization setting in that, yeah, all of him that forgot about doing this, yeah, they're not going to be too happy finding out the realization now. And Rick asks Jenner what that timer is and why they were not told of this sort of thing anytime soon. What is it? And Jenner, he can't lie to them. He says, for the longest time, and even when they got here, and while he was working on Mcqueen here, he'd planned to just end it all. End the suffering and everything, and end the world that he was a part of, but he changed his mind without realizing he had still went through with it, even if he didn't want to after all this. Shane, in a very Shane way, yells at Jenner and says, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And even if he didn't care too much about Mcqueen, the way that it happened now with the reveal of the bomb to go off in the CDC, is hitting Shane a lot more now. And Jenner says he didn't realize or know that it would come to this. Honestly, he never thought about letting anybody in. But Mcqueen, everyone here, this change for their world and the talk of other worlds, it really caught Jenner's interest, and he forgot about wanting to die. But now that it's happened, he can't take it back, and he's just willing to accept his original fate. But with Mcqueen, they have plenty of time. They can try to get out, but he places no kind of hope that they'll be able to with what's built here at the CDC. But Lightning, he's the one getting the most angry, and he can't keep his rage contained any longer, feeling betrayed by the person who helped him out the most besides Rick. And he speaks and yells out. The first time, and he didn't yell at Cruz in this timeline, so this would be the first time he really yelled out besides Mater. And he yells at Jenner and says, not only did you lie to us, but you lied to me. After everything that you did for me and letting us here, giving me these new designs and all this help, I thought that you wanted us here. But now you're pretty much giving us our own death sentence and wanting yourself to die too. You should want to leave as well. What's the point in staying where you're going to die? We have a chance to not only help out this world, but get back to mine. Why would you pass that up? And he's just basically throwing shade the right direction of Jenner's way. And Rick, he's sensing victory here because he feels that Lightning, he's spitting right now, not even lying. So Rick comes up with his own pieces of advice for Jenner, saying that, yeah, you let us in, you helped Mcqueen, and you're willing to throw all that away for something that you honestly should have never thought about to begin with? And Jenner says to Rick that he's right, but he's also wrong. Out there is just death, ruin, and mayhem. Even if there are other worlds, who's to say that will ever happen again? It was sheer coincidence that this all happened, which it really was. But he says that while that might be the end that he wants for his story, it doesn't have to be the end of theirs. They still have time. They can try to get out, but he places no kind of hope that they'll be able to. And he says that this is their one chance to try and leave, but he won't leave. He doesn't want to. And he didn't even lock the doors, so he says, "You can go." And he whispers something to Rick. The secret that we know, he whispered they're all infected. But he also whispers something else. And Mcqueen overhears this, and he knows what was whispered. Also, Jacqui, something goes on with her. Because even though she wants to die here, we have a very big change. Jim is at the CDC along with T-Dog, and he's not died or ever got bitten. And Jacqui was really close with Jim. Not in the romantic way, it felt more like she and T-Dog were a thing. So I feel that Jim, T-Dog, and Lightning would convince Jacqui to remain alive. So Jacqui is gonna go with them. As for Andrea, like I said, Amy being there, which I've touched upon before, means that Dale doesn't have to stay behind and with Andrea to force her out of the CDC. So they all go no matter what. But then we get a big problem. The one that I touched upon in the second episode. Rick didn't get the grenade. So this puts our group at a very perplexing spot. But what was whispered to Rick that Mcqueen also knows about? Do they have another way to escape? But that's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed. What do you guys think will happen next? How did you guys like this episode? And what is your favorite part so far? With all that out of the way, be sure, as always, to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick, and comment your favorite series or videos on the channel so far, and requests for future recommendations on the channel. With all that out of the way, I truly hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and are even more stoked for the future of the Mcqueen Walking Dead story, because we've got a lot more to share and much more secrets to uncover.